Hello everyone. The topic to be discussed today is research problem identification. Myself, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Bagga, Professor and Head, Department of Orthodontics, School of Dental Sciences, Sharda University, Greater Noida, UP, India. The, the first and foremost step in research process is research problem identification. So let's discuss an outline of research process. It starts with formulating the research problem by identifying, selecting, and defining it. Then next is extensive literature survey to specify problem, formulate research question, and develop the hypothesis. And once hypothesis is developed, then we go for methodology, selecting appropriate research design, a sample, and developing a data collection instrument. Collection of data by administering the data collection instruments, recording the data, scoring, and tabulating it for analysis. Then selection of suitable statistical technique to analyze data, then generalization and interpretation, and finally preparation of the report. Now here, first step in research process is identification of a research problem. And this is believed to be the first and the most important step in research process. This is considered to be the most difficult and challenging task, especially for the beginners in the research field. This is a time-taking exercise. If research problem is not defined, data collection may be improper, not relevant to the problems, then entire study may need to be repeated. A clearly stated research problem is said to be half solved. Define your destination before beginning a journey. Where I'm going, I have to decide my destination, and accordingly, I have to plan my journey. So what research is intended to achieve, where I'm going, what I will do, what is the need of the study, its relevance or importance in context with the background knowledge based on available literature. So we need to search the literature, what is existing and where is the gap, so that we can find out the answer to the gap. And will it withstand scientific scrutiny with the study I'm doing? How I will conduct the study to achieve the relevant data, what I may achieve which will fill the vacuum in the available literature. So these all the questions must be answered to yourself, so that we can understand the path, the journey, and we should reach the destination and we should achieve the goal. Steps in defining research problem. It starts with formulating initial research question, that is a broad topic. And once we want to know about a question, we need to search and search and search the answer in the available literature. So next is reviewing literature based on initial research question relevant to that topic. So review the background knowledge, theoretical concept, methodology, data collection methods, tools, and outline gaps in previous research. Avoid duplication. Do not waste your resources, your energy, just duplicating the study. We need to know where are the gaps, and we need to fill that gap with our study. So by reviewing the literature, we can understand the gap, and that gap will help us to refine our question. So the third is refine research question. Scope of your research question. If necessary, analyze the research question into sub questions. Just break it down to smaller questions and choose a question which is very specific, very focused. So identify a research gap. What is missing or what is not addressed? What happened and what could happen? The question or problem that has not been answered or addressed need importance, necessity of proposed research project. So a perceived gap between the existing state and desired state. What is there and what should be there? What we are doing and what we can do. So these things give us perceived gap or some difficulty in conceptual framework or a contradiction. For example, one or more desired outcomes having two or more courses of action having some efficiency, but not equal, resulting in a doubt which is better. So if we want to know which one is better, that compels us to conduct the study. So that requires a meaningful understanding and deliberate investigation. Research problem needs to be defined to find answers to questions or strengthening existing findings to bridge the knowledge gap to solve the problems. Generally, a broad area is selected and then that is narrowed down to a specific statement of problem which is researchable. It has to be researchable so that we can find the answers through experiment and collect data collection. So after selecting the broad topic, we can prepare a preliminary list of possible contributing factors and their explanations by brainstorming and also by a review of literature. So there are so many keywords, so many important words, but that is a preliminary list. There are so many words which are synonym to each other. Then you can find out what is relevant to your topic and what is not relevant to your topic. So those words have to be removed. So you, from that survey, from that prepared preliminary list, you can eliminate irrelevant facts. And once you eliminate whatever is irrelevant, then you can prepare the final list of probable relevant facts and explanations. Once final list is prepared, you become more and more focused to your topic. Then you identify the variables, what are independent variables and what are dependent variables, and you can limit these variables also. And whatever variables we mention, we need to have operational definitions of the variables. There should not be any ambiguity. It has to be very objective. Arrive at an assumption leading to the research problem. And this assumption statement is a hypothesis which will lead to the next stage, that is running an experiment and collecting the data. So a research problem. Now a research problem, what we are discussing here, must address the gap in the knowledge, must be significant to the extent that it contributes positively to the research. It must help in further research. It must be stated clearly so that proper data collection can be done. And it must be in the researcher's interest and suit his or her time, knowledge, skills, and resources, equipment accessibility, budget, management support, etc. And it must be ethical. Avoid unnecessary words for better clarity. Avoid value statements or should, better than, poor. Use only objective terms. Avoid dichotomous questions like yes or no, satisfied, unsatisfied, or agree, disagree. It should address actually depth of the problems, various levels of the problems. So to get in depth, it should not be yes or no. That is poorly designed research question. Avoid problems related to moral, ethical issues. Writing or defining research question. A problem clearly stated is believed to be a problem half solved. Stating the problem in question form, or it can be in declarative or descriptive form. For example, what effect has tobacco smoking on human lungs? In other words, we can say a study of effect of tobacco smoking on human lungs. Then components of a research problem. Relevance of the study, whether it is relevant or not. Then the title of the study. The relevance of the study has to be proven by by creating a narrative around the topic, by putting the introduction, by putting the background knowledge, where is the research gap, what is missing, then the title of the study, then operational definitions of the variables, avoid ambiguities in the question, use well defined terms and be specific. Even the outcome should be well defined, how to measure it, which population you are taking, which characteristics you are considering. Demographic characteristics include age, race, gender, ethnicity, religion, income, education, home ownership, sexual orientation, marital status, family size, health and disability status, and psychiatric diagnosis. Objectives of the study should be very clear. Delimitations of the study, how much it will cover, then scope and limitations of the study, how much it will cover, and what will be the limitations which should be done in further studies with the recommendations for the further study. Sources of research problem, how to get, how to search for research problem, from where to get. So sources of research problem based on the interest, researcher makes inquiry. So first thing is curiosity in researcher's mind. Then whatever he observes, whatever he gets from the practical experience, whatever he gets from the literature, based on his interest and search, percept to the concept. He, whatever he perceives, he makes some concept, and based on his concept, we can go for hypothesis and hypothesis testing. So it can start with the personal experience, like day-to-day observation may give an idea. For example, students of the colleges are observed to be smoking. So that can be an observation that can be incorporated into the research question. Like practical experience, a variety of practical experiences may provide plenty of ideas to formulate research problems. For example, while extracting a tooth of a child, the child is found to feel less discomfort in the presence of the parent as realized by a dentist. Or we can say a customer spends more time in a shop where chairs are available for sitting of customers, and that improves footfall as observed by a shopkeeper. A slow learner child, when admired for every small activity or progress he makes, is observed to show improvement in performance as observed by a teacher. Critical appraisal of literature. If he searches various studies done in that area where he is interested, so looking at relevant articles in the literature may give rise to questions in mind. And I'm sure that all the questions are not answered in that literature. Some of the questions may be answered in that literature, but he'll find there are questions, there are questions in his mind which are not being satisfied with the available literature. So whichever questions are not answered, that may indicate need of additional research. Then existing theories. Research is a process of theory development and theory testing. A part or parts of a theory are subjected to testing in a clinical situation, which serves as a good source of research problem. So if theories are in uh, present to make our conceptual framework, but that can be put to a practical situation. At the end of previous researches, if you find the author himself writes the limitations of the study, where he elaborates the limitations of the study and he recommends further scope of researches. So that also indicates the need of additional research. So from that also you can get the research problem. Then the social issues, the issues of social concerns or controversial social issues at national or global level may also suggest a research problem. Folklore's common beliefs related to one's field can suggest research problem to be explored. Intuition, intuitions or reflective mind is also a good source of generating new ideas and suggest research problems. Consultation with experts, those who have sound experience in that field, they may guide for finding out research problems because they are aware of the current trends in that field and what is required, what is the urgent need in that field. So they can guide you what research problem has to be addressed urgently. Then brainstorming sessions among interested professionals, for example, conferences, in symposia, you meet them, you meet the experts, sessions go on, and various things are discussed, or in group discussion at various platforms, or in community engagement, if some uh, symposia like or some discussions are going on. So any kind of brainstorming sessions also provide novel ideas to formulate a good research problem. Then technological advancements and social changes also change the environment and that demand changes in education, professional services, and that could serve as a source of research topic. Criteria for selection of research problem. So first thing, the most important thing is interest of researcher in the research topic. That is the that is very very important, because the researcher should have curiosity in that field. He should be himself interested in that area. He should be passionate about that. Unless he has curiosity, he has that stimulus, that he has that is an interest, he cannot get involved in that area. So interest of researcher in the research topic is very important. And when a researcher has interest in selected research topic, he has a curiosity to know more and more about it, and he is more likely to read widely on the topic and develops a better understanding. At the same time, many questions also arise in his mind, out of which some remain unanswered in the available literature, and based on his perception, he can make his concept. Percept leading to concept. But willingness, dedication, and commitment are not a sufficient criteria. He is very much interested, but there are various other things which need to be fulfilled. So understand your capabilities and limitations. Do you have authority in that field? Do you have knowledge accordingly? Your background knowledge, experience, required skill, and ability have to be checked. So answer yourself, am I equipped with knowledge and experience to carry out research in this area? Don't encroach area beyond your authority. So if you have these things, then you can proceed. You have curiosity, fine, but do you have the background knowledge, experience, required skill and ability in that direction? Then size of the problem. Is it manageable? Is it specific? Is it clear? So managing the variables, identify the variables, classify them and limit their number. They have to be a limited number so that they can be addressed in that study. For example, investigating changing role of professional education in different countries of the world, this becomes a very big question. So this needs to be narrowed down to manageable size, which is more specific and clear at the nature, which profession you're talking about, which level you are talking about, which country you are talking about, what 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 role, what the dimension of that area. So it has to be specific. Then the feasibility. The related research materials and sources of research are within one's reach. Unless that is feasible, you cannot do it. So you have to understand the practical constraints. Constraints of budget. Do you have finances? Available of research funds based on national priority or urgency of an issue. Whatever you are choosing on that topic, do you have the funds? Funding agency's priority. Funding agency provide fund in a specific area. So accordingly, you have to find out that in that area, if you're not getting fund, how will you conduct your study? Then there has to be time frame. The topic you are taking, how much time it will take, how much time, whether it is 1 year, 2 year, that you have to decide. Availability of data or subjects. Can you go for data collection? Do you have the subjects in that particular field? And will they cooperate you those can you get the cooperation from participants in that in this study? Then the availability of supervision. Do you have the supervisor who is expert, who knows about that field, who can guide you? And then the management support, the administrative support, that will make your environment feasible and support you with all the logistics. And the issue you are taking, is it researchable? Is it researchable? Research problem should be such which can be investigated through data collection and analysis. So once you collect the data and analyze, uh, do you think uh, data collection is possible on that issue? For example, should students exercise their rights? Should the student prefer engineering over medical as a subject? Or should a person prefer one religion over other? Such issues are debatable, such issues can be discussed. These are not researchable problems. So you need to have researchable problem on which you can perform research. Then uniqueness, the originality, the novelty. Will it contribute something new to the body of existing knowledge? Will it be value addition to the existing knowledge? Do not duplicate study using time, energy, and money, just wasting the resources. You don't get anything in the end, because whatever is done, you are doing it again. So it has to be original. It has to contribute to the existing knowledge. So what makes it different? Ask yourself what makes it different from what has been done before. So how your study is different? Different research design, different samples, different method, different equipment, different statistical technique. What is different? So avoid a subject that has been overdone, avoid duplication of the study. Then ethical issues. Ethical issues should be thoroughly examined. What ethical issues can affect and how to overcome those issues. Now, in the end, evaluate the problem once again before choosing that research topic, whether the problem is feasible and worthwhile. Feasible, it specified, researchable, new, it is manageable, not too large, availability of data or subjects, availability of resources, materials, time, money, etc. Own capability. Ask yourself, do I possess ability and skill required for solving the problem? Have I conducted preliminary study to explore the problem to understand the feasibility or difficulty in conducting the experiment? Then next is worthwhile. Will results advance knowledge? Will results have some value? Will results be of interest to others? Once we go through all the questions, I'm sure that you know that this topic should be selected or not, and you can finalize your research topic. That's how you can identify your research topic. So this was about research problem identification, and in the end, you can identify that research problem and you can move further in the research process. Thank you very much. Thank you for patient hearing. Thank you very much once again.